We do start with not one, but two blockbuster cases decided by the Supreme Court, marking a frenzied end to the court's term. Tens of millions of Americans impacted by these rulings. So the court has struck down President Biden's student loan forgiveness plan, also ruling that a Christian website maker can refuse to design a site for an LGBTQ couple. NewsNation's Tom Dempsey live for us outside of the Supreme Court right now. And Tom, Biden's student loan plan gutted, impacting those 40 million Americans, and also a major LGBTQ ruling today. What is the reaction that you're monitoring now?
Hey, Natasha. Yeah, look, Supreme Court decisions can be a little tough to follow for our viewers at home. It gets very nitty-gritty when it comes to legalese speak. So we want to make things very simple. First and foremost, the Supreme Court ruling against President Joe Biden's student loan forgiveness plan, blocking it from going through. And second thing, the background for all this, what led to this decision being made? It all revolves around what's known as the HEROES Act, and that was passed by Congress in the wake of 9/11, and that allowed the Secretary of Education to waive or modify federal student loan forgiveness programs when deemed necessary in times of war or national emergency. And in this case, it was the pandemic. But today, the Supreme Court, again, ruling against President Joe Biden's student loan forgiveness plan, saying that the HEROES Act does not authorize President Joe Biden from canceling hundreds of billions of dollars in student loan debt. So we want to show you some of the opinions tied to this. Chief Justice John Roberts of the Supreme Court writing one of the supporting decisions, quote, "Can the secretary use his powers to abolish $430 billion in student loans, completely canceling loan balances for 20 million borrowers as a pandemic winds down to its end?" We can't believe the answer would be yes. Congress did not unanimously pass the HEROES Act with such power in mind. And that HEROES Act was the one I told you about, passed by Congress in the wake of 9/11. Justice Roberts going on to write, among Congress's most important authorities is its control of the purse. It would be odd to think that separation of powers concerns evaporate simply because the government is providing monetary benefits rather than imposing obligations. Now, Justice Elena Kagan writing a dissent opinion, quote, "Congress authorized the forgiveness plan. Among many other actions, the secretary put it in place, and the president would have been accountable for its success or failure. But this court today decides that some 40 million Americans will not receive the benefits the plan provides because, so says the court, that assistance is too significant." And again, so that was part of the dissent opinion written by Justice Elena Kagan. Again, many people watching this opinion today coming down from the Supreme Court. This blocks the student loan forgiveness plan from going through. But like you said, Natasha, many people were watching this. This was arguably the most important issue in front of the Supreme Court this term. Student loan forgiveness is something that impacts millions of Americans, tens of millions of Americans all across the country. And just this week, this month, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau issued a report sort of outlining what this issue looks like moving forward. And it found that over 1 in 13 student loan borrowers currently remain behind in their student loan payment plans right now. And that's higher than it actually was before the pandemic. Also, to take it a step further, 1 in 5 student loan borrowers, 1 in 5 have risk factors suggesting they could struggle with scheduled payments. Again, this is according to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. But on the flip side to this, again, this is a very contentious issue that's been before the Supreme Court. We've heard politicians speak about it. There were questions about fairness. Suppose someone, worked very hard to pay off their student loans, paid them all off, and then they see this decision come down from the president that helps out other people who have not paid out their student loans. And there were 6 attorneys general, Republican attorneys general in states arguing that the student loan forgiveness plan from President Joe Biden would cause financial harm to the states because that meant lost revenue that they were banking on from people paying off their student loans. So again, this is still a very contentious issue. And let's just be clear about one thing too, Natasha. No matter which way this decision went, student loans would be an ongoing issue for this country. Many people are still going to be dealing with this issue for years to come. And, obviously many people were watching this decision today because this means that the president's student loan forgiveness plan will be blocked by the Supreme Court. Natasha?
Yeah, certainly. And Tom, we're just hearing right now from the White House saying that they strongly disagree with this, but that they were prepared for this scenario. The president will make clear he's not done fighting yet and will announce new actions to protect student loan borrowers. So we will probably be hearing from the White House today. Of course, we'll keep on top of that. And Tom Dempsey breaking this down for us at the Supreme Court as it's all happening. Thank you so much.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.